Welcome back to the Intercourse Show. I am your host, Mr. B. Today we have a very exciting show for you. We are discussing modern women who don't want to settle for an average man. In this segment, Kevin Samuels interviews a young lady who doesn't feel that she should have to settle. So let's go ahead and see how this interview plays out.
Or not? Do you want to be married?
Absolutely.
Hmm. Okay. Any children?
I do not have children.
So, single or not? Do you want to be married?
Absolutely.
Hmm. Okay. Any children?
I do not have children.
All right. So, were mom and dad married?
They were.
All right. So, who's helping you figure all this out?
You.
Me? Really?
You, my dad, my aunt, my grandma.
Okay. Are you in a serious relationship with anyone?
No, not at the moment.
When was your last serious relationship?
I want to say, what are we in? 21. Last one was in like 2019, and it was short-lived.
What's your longest relationship?
Like a year and a half.
Why such short relationships?
I'm an artist. Why you gotta shake your head? I'm an artist.
Creatives.
Yeah, creatives. But really, I've been in pursuing my entertainment career since I was like 14, well, really like 13 years old. So
What do you mean your entertainment career? And what?
I'm an artist. I'm a singer, songwriter, performer.
So that's your first love.
That's my first love.
So you don't have
music.
room for her. You don't have room for a husband.
Why do you say that?
Just based on your life.
Oh my God, you're making me gag. Why do you say that I don't have space for a husband? I have felt like that before, but I think the older I get, the more I realize that I don't want to be married to my career.
Yeah, but do you have the skills to do anything else?
Absolutely.
Really? Where's
Yes.
that show? Where's that been proven in your life?
I think it's been proven in the sense that I've been a caretaker. I mean, I've been
No.
pursuing music.
No, to a man. See, if you're trying to interview to be a wife, I'm going to ask you what's your relationship experience, and you don't have much.
That's true.
So,
I've had a lot of situationships, not a lot of relationships.
So you're unqualified to be a wife.
You think so? Just because you haven't
It's
had
a
a
job.
lot of relationships?
Well, were you raised to be a wife?
I don't think I was technically raised to be a wife.
So any woman that says that I've been focusing on my career, following my passion, whatever, is a woman that raises a red flag to most men. You're number one in your world.
I could see why that would be.
See, sadly, and I'm gonna say something. This may sting a little bit. Sadly, far too many artists fail at becoming successful. Then they think marriage is a backup. Men aren't backup plans. Men are primary options to deserve your best.
Absolutely.
Can you honestly say that? You have given men in your life your best?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So the last relationship you were in, the year and a half, who ended it?
Actually, it was both of us.
It was not freaking mutual.
Okay, first it was him, then we got back together.
Why did he end it?
You're gonna get me. Because we were both very young, but I was very much focused on my career at the time.
Right, you said how long ago was this relationship?
My most serious relationship, this was
you said a year and a half.
Yeah, that was years ago.
Right. So everything I said has been accurate.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean that
that means it is what it is. You're unfit for what you want.
I wanted the word cuppa, as in cup of tea. I thought it would be great to mix with hug. When I saw the domain was available,
I agree with you. I agree with you on that. And that is why I have been taking the time to really work on myself on that side of my life.
With
Because
whom?
you're right, I haven't
With
put a lot
whom?
of thought
With whom?
into it until
Whom? With
like,
whom? With whom? Who are you working with?
well, I have been in therapy, but not
Okay.
for relationship stuff specifically. But I do feel like
Are
being
you still in
has made
therapy?
me think. I'm sorry.
Are you still in therapy?
Absolutely.
How long you been in therapy?
I've been in. Well, I haven't been in this year. Last year and the year before. So about 2 years I was in therapy before I had.
But
to
you're
go
not.
on
You said you're
hiatus.
still in therapy, so you're not in therapy.
Well, I had to take a break because of insurance issues.
But that's not what you just said. You said you're still in therapy. You're not.
Well,
Okay, so y'all can see that she's flopping a lot. She's going back and forth quite a bit. And Kevin Samuels, by his body language, is starting to lose some patience for her. She doesn't seem like she's clear on whatever her story is, and he's not really getting a real answer. Really, the takeaway from this so far is that sometimes when women are not being truthful or honest about certain things, you'll see that the story don't add up in a lot of ways. There's a lot of jumping around, and she's not really settled on what she wants to actually say. And I can already tell that Kevin's probably not going to do well with that. So let's go ahead and continue watching.
Oh,
that's just, ma'am. It's just no, ma'am. No, there's no, ma'am. No. Words mean things. It's almost June, and you said you're in therapy, implying that this is still ongoing. It turns out you haven't been in there all year.
Yeah,
okay.
It's been a while.
So you're not in therapy. You just want to see. I'm concerned how casually women lie these days.
Well, I wasn't lying intentionally.
It wasn't intentional or not. It was not factual. You ain't been to therapy in 2021, so that means I'm not in therapy.
If I'm not in therapy, with a therapist.
No, I'm not playing these games.
She's digging a deeper hole. She's just not being honest. She's lying. If you ain't been there in a couple of years, you're not in therapy. You may have gone in the past, but at present, you're not currently in therapy. And this is what he was asking her. Why can't she just say, I am not currently in therapy, but I've done it in the past? And then when he says, well, you haven't been in therapy, she says, well, I've been in touch with a therapist. This right here, brother, this is not a good look, all right? This implies that this lady has a hard time telling the truth, and she's smooth with it. Look at her. She's smiling. She's twisting up the story, and you can't settle down on any one storyline because it's all over the place, to the point where Kevin has officially lost his cool with her. So
another part of the reason why women are so unfit for relationships. Y'all play slick and loose with words. Words are used to express reality, not create reality. Far too many women use words to create reality. You're sitting here trying to play reality games in front of everybody. What man wants to deal with that?
I have been in therapy for an extended period of time. In 2021, I stopped.
I know that now because I've had to peel back the onion. But what I'm saying, in a normal interaction, you would have given the wrong information to somebody. My point is, ma'am, therapy or no, the fitness to be inside of a relationship, you need to be coming to the table to bring something. Women like you come and take stuff. What is a man going to get from you outside of sex?
Well, one thing that I've learned being around a lot of men is that they don't always get heard. They're not always listened to. And they're not always nurtured in the way that women naturally.
What was the question I asked you?
I was thinking the same thing. She's not answering the question.
You asked me is that what I would be given to a man. Right. So I'm getting to that is the nurturing aspect and the being able to be a listener and actually take what I'm hearing and apply it. Like, I think that's something that a lot of young women my age.
Where did you learn this skill?
I learned the skill from, I think,
How long have you had this skill, should I say?
I think I've always kind of had that skill, like as far as being
lean forward a little bit.
Lean forward.
Let me go ahead. Yeah. See, if you had that skill to listen and respond and apply, your first boyfriend, the one you were with for a year and some change, wouldn't have said you were focused on your career. Because I'm quite sure.
Much younger.
No, but you said you've had this. You said you've had this skill for a while.
I was a lot younger.
No. You guys just saw what just happened, right? I asked her how long you've been aware of this, and I asked you how long you've been. I've had this for a while. That implies you should have had it then, and it didn't work then.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I learned since then. Absolutely.
That's not what you said. This is not what you said.
Well, I'm correcting myself. Since then, after
creating reality.
No.
That's a reality stone. Creating reality with words.
No.
Okay, you let the comment section tell you.
I mean, they can say that, but
I'm telling you, ma'am. I'm telling you how I'm experiencing it right now. That you're trying to create reality with words, and I'm asking you very straightforward questions, and you contradicted yourself multiple times in your life.
When you
ma'am, listen. I'm just reflecting back what I'm getting from you. I'm mirroring, and what you're getting is conflicted, confused answers. I'm being very direct. I know exactly why I'm saying what I'm saying. You're creating reality. Just like you created reality that you're still in therapy, and you're not. Just because you're in touch with a therapist doesn't mean you're in therapy.
Wow. Kevin Samuels just actually touched on a great point just now. Do women actually create reality when the story that they tell you isn't as good as they think it should be? Do they embellish the story for the sake of painting themselves a certain way to make themselves look more appealing, or maybe to change somebody's perception of them? I never even thought of it like that, but I think it's a very, very good point that he just made. Creating reality is when you create a version of the story that is not actually what happened. It's just something that you feel is the better version to tell. That's interesting, fellas. You got to pay attention to that. Are you dealing in a situation where a person makes up bits and pieces and you can never narrow down on what they're actually saying? I've been there before, where a person says one thing and then 2 seconds later they change what they said and they said they didn't say it. You're seeing this in real effect. And just reading body language. This young lady's face, to me, doesn't come across as a person who takes her own life really that seriously. There's a conversation being had. Clearly, this man is having a hard time interpreting what he's saying to her, what she is saying to him. And instead of reeling in her story, she's almost laughing and being jovial about it. This gives me the impression that maybe she's trolling him. She's not being serious on purpose for the sake of trying to make him look bad. But if you call the man's show to get help for whatever's going on with you, why not take it serious? Why not focus in on what he's actually saying? Again, that might actually explain the reasons why she's an older woman who is currently single, because it doesn't seem like she focuses in very well. Now, this is not an attack on this lady. I don't know her personally to speak about every aspect of her personality or character. I'm not saying she's a bad person. I'm simply saying it doesn't seem like she takes relationships serious, because even when she has to recall her past relationships, the story doesn't line up.
Okay.
And I'm going to say that's a chaotic mind.
Oh, I absolutely have a chaotic mind.
Okay, and that means you're unfit for
relationship.
Peace.
Wow.
Men want peace. No, men want peace.
I disagree that that's
okay. You can disagree, but what is your men want cooperation and peace?
Right. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that you can. I don't think that disqualifies you from being capable from being capable of having peace or creating a peaceful environment. Because that's the point of me going to therapy, because I know that I grew up in a chaotic environment.
You don't think that disqualifies you from creating a peaceful environment, having a chaotic mind?
Absolutely not, because there's something called meditation. You learn how to
and what you're saying, right. And what you're saying is a man should put all his chips and bet on you as a wife that you got that ability.
Well, right now where I am in my life, maybe not. But
okay,
as I learn
when you gonna be ready?
to evolve, absolutely.
When you gonna be ready?
That's a good question. I gave myself until my birthday, which is in October.
Really? So
yes.
you're not in therapy right now. You're not in any kind of coaching or self-improvement, just watching YouTube.
I actually am getting coaching.
With who? Or how
I'm
long?
in coaching
how long?
with
how long?
business marketing.
Okay, but that ain't got shit to do. But see, creating reality. We're talking about relationships, and you're talking about business.
But all of
that,
all
stop.
Of that goes
no,
together.
No, absolutely French toast not.
Really?
Creating reality. You cannot make this shit up. Creating reality. You
so
said listen. You said you gave yourself until October, and you're not doing a mother flipping thing about it. You're not in therapy. You're in business marketing training or coaching. That's your priority. Like I said, your business, your passion is your business. You're unfit, and you're not doing the damn thing about it. So you just think by October, it's gonna fix itself. Wrong.
No.
This is why you guys need to ask thorough questions of women and get them to answer. Ask the question 3 levels deep. Ma'am, I've only asked you direct questions. Are you doing anything today that's improving your interpersonal romantic relationship skills?
I believe.
What are you doing?
I am. That's what I'm trying to explain.
What are you doing?
I think that me working on myself as a person.
How are you working on yourself?
When I'm developing a brand or a business, I'm actually having to ask myself questions about who I am and what I want for myself and what I want for my future. Those things all are gonna.
It is very true. This lady just doesn't get it. What he's saying is 100% correct. She called into a relationship show to talk about what she can do better to be more appealing to high value men, the type of man that she wants to be married to. She hasn't seemed to have been able to keep the relationships that were serious. And when asked direct questions, she jumps all over the place in terms of the story she tells. He asked her, are you in therapy? What are you doing to better yourself so that you can be appealing to a man? Because if the right man walked into your life, are you in a position where you would be a suitable mate for him? She says she thinks she is. And he said, well, what are you doing to make you appealing catch for a man? She says, then he asked her, are you in therapy? She says, yes, I'm in therapy. Then he says, well, tell me more about the therapy. She's like, well, technically I haven't been in therapy for 2 years, but I consulted a therapist. And he's like, why are you telling me that you're in therapy when you're not actively in therapy right now? Consulting a therapist or talking to someone who's not your active therapist and you haven't been there in 2 years, the story that you tell should not be that you're in therapy when you're not. Then he says, well, okay, well, why do you think you're fit? Well, is there anybody that you're talking to that specializes in relationships that can help you gain some interpersonal skills with men to kind of help you better appeal or relate to men? She's like, yeah, I'm doing a business training. He's like, well, how is a business training going to make you better at interacting with men with a potential husband? And she is attempting to convince him that somehow the business training is going to make her interpersonal skills in a relationship with a man better. I don't see it. And now Kevin's to the point where he's saying she doesn't get it. And it's fact. It's clear that she does not get it. It's going all over her head. She's not understanding that even admitting that you're chaotic mentally tells a man you have a hard time focusing on things that you need to focus on. It's the term for it's called a scatterbrain, like somebody who's their thoughts are all over the place, and you can't even get them to hone in on a conversation. So you can only imagine what problem solving would be with a woman like this if you were the person who signed up for that. It would probably be hard to communicate or to agree or to cooperate on anything because she's not really consistent in the stories that she even tells about her own life. So this is a big red flag, and I think there's a lot of people like this, and sometimes we overlook it, but you got to pay attention, fellas.
She doesn't get it. She doesn't get it. You don't get. No, it doesn't. And that's the sad part. See, this is I'm gonna say something that may sting a little. This is lazy.
I disagree, though.
I don't care if you disagree.
That's fine. I'm just saying.
You can disagree, but I will tell you, this is a lazy approach.
Exactly?
Listen. Listen. You're not doing a mother flipping thing about interpersonal relationships. And you're trying to say, because I'm getting some business coaching, that these are transferable skills. Well, that's the same thing when people come through the door and have a conversation with me saying, I'm doing great in my life, in my professional life, but I suck in my personal life because those skills don't map over. But see, women have been allowed to be lazy thinking, well, I'll just kill two birds with one stone. I'll put my money into business coaching, and just through osmosis, or it'll all translate. I'll be a better wife or a girlfriend because I'm learning brand building and marketing. French toast out of here.
I do have a question, though.
Well, no, did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said?
I did. You said that it's not transferable skills. So I understand. But I do have a question for you. So what would you recommend to some women like me who is willing to listen and to learn and to grow, but maybe I don't know what to do? Because even though my parents were married, most of the women in my family are not, or they have, whatever situation they have, like they're always the
What's
alpha.
What's your question?
The question is, what would you recommend then? Like if I'm not supposed to be doing business marketing or doing self, help things or personal development, what would I need to be doing? Because I thought that doing work on yourself is supposed to make you a better person.
No, you're doing work. No.
To get into a relationship, you have to be a whole person.
Jesus Christ. This is how far we've gone. This is why so many women think because they go to school and get a goddamn PhD that makes them fit for a relationship. It doesn't.
That's true. I agree with you on that. It don't qualify.
So the first thing you need is self-awareness to recognize how bad off it is.
That's true.
You don't think it's as bad as it is for you.
Oh no, I know I'm in the danger zone.
No. Every question I've asked you, you've underestimated or downplayed or overestimated. You've not been accurate in estimation of anything tonight.
I disagree, but okay.
Oh my God.
I do. Honestly.
I'll go home and get your fucking shine box.
This is a woman that wants to debate. It's about being right. Kevin Samuel says this one thing. Modern women have a need to be right. They want to win the argument. She called his show Seeking Advice. He gives her advice. She disagrees with his advice. She wants to debate. But in the same breath, she's asking him for help. How do I be less chaotic in how I think? How do I gain the interpersonal skills that I need in order to be appealing to the type of man that I want? So a woman like this would say that she has standards and there's certain men that she wants, but a certain man of a certain quality is not going to overlook these glaring red flags. She has a lack of ability to focus and to be truthful and honest. just about her own life situation, circumstances. This man has had to ask her the same question multiple times because she kept dancing around giving an honest answer. And it's interesting because she will deny that she's lacking the skills that she would need to be effective in a relationship. Listen, guys, I got to tell you, communication is instrumental in any relationship, whether it's a work relationship, a friendship, a personal relationship, a marriage. The effective communication that exists between you and your partner can solve a lot of problems. And if a person can't ask you a question and get a straight answer out of you, that's a problem. The conversation was draining to even watch. And it was draining for Kevin Samuels. You could tell by his body language and you could even see by her demeanor, this is not a serious person. I'm going to show her face. This is not a serious person. She's laughing. She's having a good old time. And look at Kevin Samuels. He's ready for the call to be over. Again, she didn't say anything mean. She doesn't seem like she's a mean-spirited person. This isn't a personal attack on her. But the impression that I'm getting, again, first impressions, so you only have one time to make it. The impression that I'm getting is that she's not a serious person. Like, she doesn't take her love life seriously. Maybe she's just kind of coasting through it. And the things that she does prioritize has more to do with her business and things of that nature. And nothing wrong with that if that's what you want. But a lot of people may feel like they're fulfilled in their love life, but they may be unfulfilled in their personal relationships, in their personal love life, right? They may be fulfilled in their business, professional careers, but unfulfilled in their personal relationships. And I think this is a woman who is probably unfulfilled because, again, you can be cute, you can have a nice body, the sex can be great, you can be funny, but those are things that may attract a man. Keeping him is the other part. Maintaining his attention, allowing there to be some sort of deeper connection is another thing. And if a man feels like he can never get a straight answer out of you because you're kind of scatterbrained in terms of the stories you tell and you're not really honest with, how things actually played out, you always want to debate and argue and disagree with everything that he says. Being disagreeable is actually a turnoff for a lot of men. Because it's like, man, a lot of times it's like we can never agree on anything. Even when the person is wrong, they'll double down on it and disagree with you until you tap out. And a guy who has to get to a point where he's like, all right, I just want to have peace. I want to avoid the argument so you can have it. That's not a good thing. So it's unfortunate. Obviously, she seems like a pleasant person. She wasn't rude. She wasn't disrespectful, overtly disrespectful. But she's kind of giving me a know-it-all attitude where she's got it all figured out. If you got it all figured out, why even call into the man's show to get his advice? And then when he's got advice for you, you want to disagree and debate. It's crazy. This gentlemen are some of the women that say that they can't settle for certain types of men, yet an average man can't sit through a conversation with them. So you can only imagine, a high value, very productive man, he would be completely overwhelmed by this. Now, that's not to say that this isn't a trait that exists in all women. It's just that some women are so attractive that the man will put up with it. Those arm candy types, the women who are 10, the models that, people go out of their way to get on their yachts, they can be just as scatterbrained and the man will be like, they'll overlook it. I don't know why that is. It doesn't make sense, but that's the fact. Sometimes a person can be so attractive that you put up with behaviors you would never put up with a person who's maybe an average looking person. It's just the reality of it. And I think that happens on both sides, right? Women do it too, right? If you're not a handsome guy and you got a stank attitude, a lot of women ain't really jocking that. They're not jacking that at all. They're gonna, move around. But if you are a person that is very attractive and your attitude ain't the greatest, some women will stay in that. You know what I mean? They'll drag it out. It's just attraction. It's the law of attraction. I think sometimes we stay in things we shouldn't. But that's my thoughts on this particular topic. I invite and open the floor up to you, the listeners. What say you? What do you think about this particular topic? Should women settle for what they can get? Should they actually take the steps necessary to develop their interpersonal skills so that they can keep men in their lives rather than just attracting them for a short period of time? Are some of those skills transferable? Like if you're trying to be good in relationship skills, will taking a business course in marketing help you be a good relationship skilled person? Weigh in. Let me know what you think. And of course, like and subscribe. Stay connected to the show. Obviously, we want to be constructive and give you information that's useful to you. And it's hard to connect if you're not connected. So definitely stay connected. Like and subscribe, and also share. We welcome your conversation. This is called The Intercourse Show. And contrary to what some might believe, it's not just about sex or anything like that. No, it's actually about conversation. We believe in having healthy conversation and enlightening our viewers. So we want to have intercourse in terms of conversation. So certainly weigh in. Let me know what you think. And until we speak again, peace and blessings.